Marriage is like a bank account, either a deposit where we're building trust, we're building intimacy, we're building joy,
Yeah.
or a withdrawal where we're draining connection, creating tension, or leaving a relational debt.
Welcome to Marriage Monthly. We're Gabe and Melissa Kolstad, and we want to help you build a healthy, lifelong marriage. We get together every single month with a podcast designed to just give you practical tips to help you grow in your marriage, and we can't wait to spend some time with you.
If you have ever been overdrawn in your marriage bank account, this one's for you. We're talking about deposits and withdrawals. And if you know what it's like to be like, feel like you're on thin ice,
Yeah.
you know, you've sort of taken in the moment more than you've given, and
have
the balance
drained the
is a little
tank.
off. Yeah, drain the tank. And we've all, if you've been married for more than 5 minutes, you probably know what that means.
Yeah.
But we're going to be talking about deposits and withdrawals
Yeah.
in today's episode. And what we want to say is marriage is like a bank account. Like every word, every action, every attitude is either a deposit where we're building trust, we're building intimacy, we're building joy,
Yeah.
or a withdrawal where we're draining connection, creating tension, or leaving a relational debt. So,
This makes so much sense.
yeah.
Like, I don't know where we first heard this from. Maybe Leslie Parrott or something.
the
I can't
parrots,
remember.
Yeah.
But I just remember thinking that is so brilliant because it's such a tangible way to think about how you're withdrawing or contributing to the bank account, which is a marriage, you know? So
Yeah.
I like it.
And so the idea would be, obviously, we want to make a lot more deposits than
Yes.
withdrawals. I don't think it's possible to not take a withdrawal at some point in time.
Everybody does.
Yeah.
Everybody says something or does something to drain the account. It
I
doesn't
know.
matter.
But I do think that the ratio probably has to be 10 to 1.
Well, yeah, it's just like that thing about the encouragement, right? You
Yeah.
have like 10 encouraging things and one negative thing, and all
Right.
you focus on is a
Yeah.
negative thing, even though you had 9 really encouraging
Yes.
things. Well, it takes a while to get out of that hole.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
So let's talk about when we felt like we had lots of deposits.
Oh, okay.
Like we were
Well,
riding high
I
in the bank account.
Yeah. I feel like most of the time, and this is just because my love language is time and acts of service and adventure. I made that one up.
That's-
There's a 6.
yeah, not one
There's
of
a
them.
6th one. Yeah,
That's
it's a 6th one. I just made it up. There's a 6th one now, and it's called adventure. And so, for me, I would say it this way. I feel the closest to you when we are adventuring together. And it could be a downtown day in Portland. It could be in Lisbon. Like, it can be anywhere.
That's a really good one.
But yeah, that's a good place.
Yeah.
But for us to be able to drop into a location for the day and just explore, it just fills my tank. And for some weird reason, I end up loving you more by the end of the day because we've adventured together. We've had
Right.
time exclusively together
Yeah.
for the whole day. And so that's why I like vacations. Vacations are big dump in the bank account because
Yes.
I get your undivided attention for several days on
Yeah.
it. And I'm like, yes. So I don't know. I feel like that makes me feel really close to you. I guess the opposite would be I feel drained, like we're draining the account when you're super, super busy and I don't feel like a priority. Which when we do pushes and there's a lot going on at the church or in
Like
personal
AKA
stuff.
lately, a little bit.
Yeah, it's been crazy lately. So we are going on a trip and we
Yeah.
are going to sign off
Next
for 18
week.
days.
Yeah.
So, but it's one of those things where it's like, then I don't feel as close to you,
Yeah.
which is weird that you
But it
think,
makes sense if your love language is time and acts
Yeah.
of service, that then those are the things that fill the tank.
yeah.
And
Exactly.
yeah. So I can remember a time, it was a couple years ago on my 50th birthday, you had arranged this pretty awesome party in our backyard.
Oh, yeah.
And it felt like you had made me such a priority, and not that, and I don't even have like my love language is not gifts.
No, you didn't even really care about that part.
No, but just like the fun of it, there were a lot of kind words. That is my love language, is words, probably
Words
more than
of
anything else.
affirmation, yes.
And so, I don't know, it just felt really, really fun. I felt very close to you, and I felt like that was a high for me.
Yeah.
And so, then when if we get negative, if there's
critical.
in any relationship,
Yeah.
criticism that's maybe just flippant or, especially if it's not necessary or, whatever, then that's hard.
Well, and everybody can be
it takes my tank down really fast.
I think everybody can be critical and defensive.
Yeah.
And that stuff drains the tank.
Yeah.
Like,
absolutely.
Even if you're kidding or you're, didn't mean to say it like that or something like that, it's still a little hole, a little dent. So it happens.
And I think I was thinking about this, the 50-50 thing people say about marriage.
Right.
That this is where the rubber meets the road on that, is deposits and withdrawals.
Yeah.
Because if you have a 50-50 mindset about marriage with deposits and withdrawals, then you're going, okay, I'm going to put $1 in if you put $1 in.
Yeah. If.
And then it's
contingent.
like, I'm not going to put $1.25 in if you put $1 in. I'm going to put $1. Right. And what real marriage is going like, I'm dumping it all in there.
Yeah,
100%. And it's not really even for you. It's for the Lord. It's like, this is because I want to show you I love you, but I don't know the right thing to do is I'm just dumping it all in there.
Well, we can't be checking the balances all the time either. Like, oh, but you owe me, or I did this. And if you're doing that, then you're doing marriage wrong. Because I hear so often ladies will tell me, I feel like all I do is pour myself into him, and all I do is, take care of the house, and I take care of the kids, and I move everybody this way and that way, and I drive everywhere, and I do everything. And I'm like, oh, that's great. You're running a house. Like, I did the same thing. But they're critical and mad at their spouse for not being more involved in that. I'm thinking, did you tell him this?
Right.
Did you tell him, hey, can you pick up the kids once in a while? Can you do a meal once a week? Can you give me a break on maybe you vacuum once in a while? Just say it.
Yeah.
He can't read your mind. Like, if he's out busting his butt too in a different way, it looks different from your way of busting your butt, but then you're mad at him because he's not doing it the way you did. So I just think sometimes we can be really critical on trying to balance, like level the balances here. And it's like, that's not possible. Just do the best you can as a spouse. And if you're doing the best you can, I guarantee they're going to do the best they can to reciprocate. That's just natural.
Yeah.
When I'm being spoiled, you're being spoiled, we're both being spoiled. And that's the beauty of a healthy, strong relationship.
For sure. For sure. And then withdrawals are also sort of reciprocal. It's easy to go, you took from me, I'm going to take from you.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'll get you back.
Yeah. So that's a very, very easy and a very immature way to look at marriage.
Absolutely. Stop trying to make it balanced. That's not how it works. I'm just going to pour it all in.
Yeah.
All $1 million into this relationship, into this account, and then you're going to do it back because that's just human nature.
Right.
Love hard and be loved hard.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at Ephesians in the Bible.
This is my favorite chapter in the whole Bible, Ephesians 4.
Okay, so you want to walk us into this?
Sure. Okay, so let's see here. Ephesians 4, we're going to start with, we're not going to do the whole chapter, but we're grabbing a few verses. But 2 and 3 says, be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bearing with one another in love. Make every effort to keep the unity of the Spirit through the bond of peace. So make every effort to have unity. And I love that. Be patient, be humble, be gentle, bear with one another. That means if you are having a hard time and you're struggling, I'm going to bear with you. Like we're going to bear down and do this together. Like you're not alone. So the deposits in this would be like humility, gentleness, and patience. So that's what I'm going to pour into you. But a withdrawal would be pride, harshness, irritation, and neglecting unity. Like, I'm going to do my thing. You go do your thing. Like, I don't care if we spend time together or anything like that because you're annoying to me or something like that, And people do that. So, but I love those verses. I think those are just so beautiful. So be completely humble and gentle, be patient, bear with one another, and keep the unity. I love that.
That's good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next little section that we want to highlight is Ephesians 4:15, which says, speaking the truth in love. And I think that's a really, really important marriage principle. I mean, it's a relationship principle, but
it's a relationship principle,
boy, does it apply to marriage, speaking the truth in love. You reminded me of the speaking the truth thing a few minutes ago when you said sometimes, you're feeling like, oh, I'm pouring all this into our marriage and the other person isn't.
Yeah.
And I think what is missing there is the truth, where it's like, yeah, have we checked in? You said, have you told them that? That's the truth. Like, how do you make sure you can speak the truth in love? And when you do, if we could really do the speak the truth in love thing, even though sometimes it's like there's an edge to it.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't want to hear that you think I spent too much money on something. I don't want to hear that you think I'm too busy right now. But if it's done in love, I can totally receive that,
But that's the problem. A lot of times it isn't.
Yeah.
It's like you're so annoying because you're working too much. But thank you for providing for our family. Like, there's an underlying to these seasons of doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
I mean, I was thinking about, like, I have, there's been some situations recently where there's been addiction involved in relationships. And this has been more than one couple that I've talked to about this. And I'm just thinking, you got to have that hard conversation. The one that is maybe the sober one. you know what, we need to talk about this because this is not going well.
Yeah.
Like this is going to end in destruction. This is not, it never ends well.
Yeah.
I'm reading Proverbs right now. Don't get me started.
Yeah.
Proverbs
It's
20.
full of
Like,
it.
don't even drink the stuff because it makes you do stupid stuff and you'll do a brawl and you won't even remember it.
Right.
So it's clearly, you know, not healthy. But I was just thinking about speaking the truth in love and how it's important to have those hard conversations sometimes when your spouse is going down the wrong track. And you're like, we got to talk about this. But a lot of times you'll be like, I'm just going to sweep it under the rug and act like it's not happening because I don't want to deal with this. But the Bible says, no, you got to deal with it because it's going to blow up somehow. But do it with love.
Yeah. So the deposit here would be honest but kind communication and
Exactly.
building trust. And, you know, there's so much to all that. And we've got plenty of episodes we've covered. How do we do the communication?
Yeah,
we talk
yeah.
about tone, tact, timing
Yeah.
being really important with speaking the truth in love. But withdrawals here would be harsh truth without love.
Yeah.
And sometimes you know, this is like we used to be courting and now we're married. And so, you know, I used to have to chase you, but now you're legally obligated to love me. So I can take all the niceness away from it. And that's
no
like
effort
so
needed.
not true.
It's not
Right? It's
true.
like it should actually go the other way to be
Yeah.
like, hey, I made a lifelong commitment to you. Now I really want to court you. I really want to love you in my communication.
I love those old, like the Instagrams and stuff you see of the old couple that have been married for like 65 years and
Yeah.
how they're like, I love them more now than I
Right.
did the day we got together.
Yeah, totally.
But I love it because it's truth. There's like an experience there and a safety there that has gone through the course of time.
Yeah.
And it's just so beautiful. You look
It
at that
is.
and you're thinking, wow, they've been through some stuff. You know, it's not always easy.
Right.
No marriages. But you look at them and you're like, wow, okay, that's cool.
Yep.
They've probably had some tough conversations.
Oh, I'm sure.
So, yeah. All right. Ephesians 4:26 and 27. This one's a hard one, I think. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry, and do not give the devil a foothold. There's a couple things there that stand out to me. Like when you're angry and you're taking it out on your spouse, the devil has a foothold in that. Now suddenly there's a rift in this relationship, and sometimes it takes a good fight to get through it.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, that's harsh because you don't want to go to bed angry. Like
Nope.
you always taught you, again, the older people, you hear them say, well, we never went to bed mad at each other.
Right.
And it's like, well, because you fester, it just sits there.
Which
and
means
you're
they
just rolling it over.
decided, so they decided that we will work this out right now and not let it go to the next day. I think that's
Yeah.
what Paul is saying. I mean, I
I
know that
agree.
there's sometimes you can't solve the whole huge issue necessarily in a couple of hours, but you could certainly move past the bitterness or the anger
I mean, sometimes
of
you
it.
need to process for a few days if something big happened.
Yeah.
I mean, if there's an affair, or there's like a bankruptcy that happened, or there's some huge thing that you were just hit in the side of the head with, and you're like, whoa, wait a second. I'm not saying, okay, have a quick conversation, go night-night. But there has got to be this level of restoration that I think needs to happen without anger.
Yeah.
Like you can have a strong conversation and a hard conversation without being angry at each other and mean at each other. Like
Right.
I feel like there's like an attitude there.
I think too, like there is a little sense on this one that Paul is talking about. He says, in your anger, do not sin. So maybe it's possible in your anger, you can have anger and not sin. And, you know, if anger is just, I think the definition of anger that I've liked the most is that it's the difference between what you expected and what actually happened.
Yeah.
So there's this gap, and it's the anger that we carry. So that could be okay, right? But you could decide, am I going to sin in my anger or am I going to not sin? And it seems like to not sin is about, it's about how we express that, you know, maybe back to this truth in love, maybe about how quickly we can resolve it, you know, because I don't think it's right to go, I was disappointed about something, so my response is I have to pretend like I wasn't disappointed about something.
Right.
You know, so how do we work that out? I think we have to work it out, but you can do that in a way that puts love first.
Because like what would sinning look like in your anger? Would it be withdrawing and ignoring each other, putting like this wall up? I mean, that's not good.
Yeah.
Like, or would it be screaming at each other?
Yeah.
Hitting each other? I mean, that can come out a lot. Anger can come out a lot of different ways and be extremely scary.
Yeah.
Especially if you've been in an abusive relationship before and you were just on eggshells, scared. So I think it's important to you know, I mean, Jesus got mad.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So, but it was injustice. It was unjust what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, so we should be angry about that. What's our holy discontent? What are we mad about? That's okay. But if that rolls into sin, abuse, that kind of stuff, division, because this chapter is also talking about unity.
Yep.
So, yeah, I got it. Yeah. Oh, so let me just say, deposits would be resolving conflict quickly, protecting intimacy. Again, if you're mad at each other and you go to bed mad at each other, there's going to be no intimacy. So withdrawal would be silent treatment, dragging out resentment, eye rolling. Oh my gosh. Girls are so good at that. And dismissing their opinion, which I think is really, I mean, a lot of times too, we are mad because we aren't feeling heard. So it's like, well, you're not listening to me.
Mm-hmm.
And you're like, well, you're not listening to me.
Yeah. So it's withdrawal.
Yeah. And so it's like, oh, well, how do we like resolve that?
Yeah.
And come to restoration and an agreement where we can be like, okay, I love you anyways, and I'm not mad, and I'm not going to hit you because that's sinning. So yeah.
Yeah. Next one, Ephesians 4:29 says, "Do not let any unwholesome talk out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up." So this has to do with our words, and
that's big.
I think it's like, it's so big because don't let any unwholesome talk. I mean, and if you really break that down, there's a lot that would go in that category of unwholesome talk. I don't think it's just like, dropping the F-bomb that would be included.
No.
But there's so many things we could do that would be unwholesome or things that don't build up our marriage. Yeah, it'd be gossip. It could be biting. It could be, coarse joking. Paul talks a lot about coarse joking.
Talking behind
inappropriate
their back.
things,
Yeah.
talking behind somebody's back, a lot of things. But he's going, part of the deposit piece is how we use our words. And then he says, but only what's helpful for building others up. So to evaluate my words going, is every single thing that I say to you building you up? Every single thing. And if not, that's where I got to go to work and be like, maybe there's times I just don't say anything. Just like, sometimes we just start to ramble, or we have a thought, we have a feeling, we express a feeling, and there's no filter, there's no processing, there's no time. It's like that, practice that 3-second thing.
I agree. You don't have to say everything that pops in your head. And it would be ideal if you didn't. It's just not healthy. I'm going to do a plug for Nelson Searcy's book here called Tongue Pierced. Super, super, super good book. I haven't read it for years now, but that was such a good and convicting book about how I use my words, and that my words are fire. And so they are helpful or they're not.
Yeah.
And so it was a great book. So check it out.
So in deposits here could be encouragement, affirmation, life-giving words, leaving an encouraging note. Withdrawals could be criticism, sarcasm, which, I mean, we live in a culture of sarcasm. Our daughter-in-law, Audrey, from Italy, every time she comes here, she notices it. And she says, everybody is so, it's just part of the culture. It's a very so all the humor is sarcastic, everything is so sarcastic. And what we don't realize sometimes that bleeds into our marriage.
Yeah.
And now we're really kind of cutting a little bit, and tearing down would be another withdrawal. So those are some of the ways we, just thinking about more intentionality, using our words as a deposit.
Yeah. Ephesians 4:32 is my dad's favorite verse, and I love this. Be kind and compassionate to one another, forgiving each other, just as in Christ God forgave you. And there's a lot to that because God forgave us. We don't deserve it.
Yeah.
So I can be forgiving to my spouse. I can be kind to my spouse. I can be compassionate. I mean, I think it's important to, I think all in all in marriage, putting yourself in your partner's shoes is huge. Like, why did they say that? Or why did they do that? How about you just jump over to their side and look from their point of view? Because a lot of times all we're doing is looking at our point of view, how we feel, what we thought, how we were raised. We have all this background that brought us to this spot, but we're not looking at theirs. And so it's like, you know what? That's not fair. Like, stop being selfish. We talk about that all the time. But I just think being kind of compassionate, compassion, just like I can have compassion for something that maybe I don't understand. Like your parents are divorced. I don't understand what that felt like or what that's like, but I can have compassion for that. I can say, I get that. Like, that's probably sucked. Like, but I think it's important. I love this. What a challenging verse. I think the deposits are acts of kindness, forgiveness, tenderness, taking something off their plate. Of course, I'm an acts of service type of person. So if Gabe wanted to mop for me, I'm cool with that. And then withdrawals would be bitterness, coldness, and holding grudges. So many women, probably guys too, but I know so many girls that hold grudges. They got this whole thing in the back of their head of what they're owed. Oh, but, they did this to me, so they owe me this. Or they did this to me, so stop. Like, clean the slate, clear it out. You've been forgiven by Jesus Christ. He died for you. You can forgive other people.
Yeah.
And again, and we've said this before, forgiveness does not mean automatic trust.
Right.
If there's been an issue, with infidelity or things like that, I get that. But I'm just saying, if your spouse says something sassy to you, get off your high horse. You do it too. So it's like, stop. So I don't know. I love Ephesians 4:32. It's
I do
super
too.
good. Yeah.
That forgiveness one is really big, I think, because it's like it could be the biggest possible deposit that we could make is just doing that. But it's so hard to do it because you're having to let go of whatever retaliation, form that you are practicing. And it could be, like you said, just different ways. But the issue, it seems to be like, if we can focus on the forgiveness we've received, then we get that wholeness back.
Yeah.
That
Exactly.
actually fills our tank. Because, your deposits have to come from somewhere. And that might be, maybe as we land, a little thing to think about is like, where does the currency come from that I'm depositing in my spouse? It can't come from them. It has to actually come from the Lord.
Wow.
Because there's not enough in a human being to pour, to maintain their own strength and sanity and fill another person.
Yep.
That's like, that can only come from the Lord. And the best deposit he makes in us is a forgiveness that goes, you're my child, you're totally accepted now. And all the things that you've ever done and ever will do have already been paid for by the blood of Jesus Christ.
So good.
So total fullness, total wholeness, total, confidence.
Yeah.
Now it's easy to go, oh yeah, so she, is mad at me or, whatever, we have a thing. But I can still make a deposit because that deposit doesn't depend on me receiving from them. I've already received from the Lord. And I think that's a big piece.
I love that. That's beautiful. And I just think of some people that are just like living this whole victim mentality.
Mm-hmm.
Like they've had the hard life. They've had the hard this. Everybody's out to get them. It's like, and somewhere along the line, you got to realize that you're a child of God. You're whole in Him. And He's forgiven you and loves you. So you can love passionately. You can love big and bold. You don't have to hold everything over everybody's head because you had a hard childhood.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times I'm just thinking, how about you start fresh today? How about you say today, I'm going to make only withdrawals or only deposits, no withdrawals, because I feel like it's a lot easier in this world to do withdrawals. Like I think it's so much easier.
It's human nature, right?
Because I'm
Path of least
sarcastic
resistance.
and defensive, and I can just be like, nope, and be selfish. Everybody's selfish by nature, but how about we just flip that, like Jesus did for us? Be like, no. It's only deposits. I'm only going to say the positive things, like I was talking about in here. Read over Ephesians 4. So good.
Yeah. So we want to encourage you as you're thinking about how to apply this in whatever scenario you're in right now. Maybe you're brand new newlywed. Maybe you're going on 40 years of marriage. But what's one deposit you can make daily this week? And we hope that'll make a difference for you. And we're gonna practice it too.
That's right. Thank you for joining us today. Remember to share and subscribe and join us every single month. This is your counseling session.